Hey everybody, today I'm going to talk about the Trijicon Credo 1:6 LPVO. I've had this scope for about 2 years, and despite that, I really haven't used it a whole lot. I just don't have a lot of rounds downrange with it. Do have a lot of hands-on time with it. Tried it out on a couple of different rifles as far as dry firing them, setting up eye relief, comparing it to other scopes, but it just doesn't have the rounds downrange. So this will be a somewhat limited and abbreviated review. And the main reason I haven't done that is, one, range time's limited, and I usually devote my range time to what I consider to be higher priority things. But primarily, I just haven't been wowed by this scope. But that doesn't mean it's not a good scope. It just means it's not the scope for me. But it very well could be a good scope for you. So stick around. We'll take a close-up look at the scope, and then I'll tell you why it's not the scope for me, but it very well could be for you. The Trijicon Credo is pretty basic in design. Nothing really exotic about it, just a good quality 1:6 LPVO. There's a fast focus eyepiece at the rear. Once you have it focused, it should stay in place. Your zoom or power ring offers a good bit of resistance as you power through the 1:6 magnification range. Now, with that being said, I would much prefer having it stiff like this one as opposed to loose. Once I have it set to my desired magnification, I don't want it moving on me. Moving forward, we have the turrets and the illumination knob, and on the bottom, we can see the Made in Japan logo. So for those of you questioning where this scope is made, it is made in Japan. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the turrets and illumination knob. The Credo's illumination dial is on the left side of the scope body. There's a white mark on the scope that aligns with white dots and numbers on the dial. The white dots signify the off positions and the numbers the intensity. Intensity starts at 1 and goes all the way up to number 10 for maximum illumination. What I like is if I don't want to dial back down to a lower illumination, I can just continue in the same direction to reach that lower illumination point. Once I want the illumination off, a simple click in either direction puts me on a white dot and in a off position. While the illumination does not lock in place, you can hear the definitive nature of these adjustments. Once you have reached your desired illumination point, it shouldn't get knocked off easily. The battery is located underneath the cap of the illumination dial. The turrets are pretty straightforward. They are 1/4-inch value at 100 yards. They are nice and audible, as well as being very tactile. When you make an adjustment, you shouldn't be second guessing yourself as to how many clicks or adjustments you've made. You can feel them. Once you have established the 0 on your scope, simply lift up the turret cap, align the 0 with the knob or the little hash mark at the base of the turret, and you have the turrets zeroed out. Pretty simple design, but very effective. Let's take a look at the reticle now. This scope is available in first or second focal plane. As you can see from the scope's box, this is the second focal plane option, featuring a red BDC segmented circle reticle, set up around the 223 55 grain round. As far as illumination goes, this photo was taken on an overcast day with the illumination almost maxed out. And it's not that bright, which has kind of been my impression of Trijicon optics. They are not the brightest out there, but they certainly work. This scope reticle will get washed out on a very bright day. If, however, you aim into a dark area, you will get some pop from the illumination, and it will give you contrast for a refined aiming point. All in all, not a bad reticle for those of you who may like segmented circles and BDC reticles. You've seen the scope up close, you've seen the reticle, so you should have a pretty good feel of the feature set of the Trijicon Credo. Why does it not work for me? Let me just say, this is a good scope. It checks a lot of boxes for me. The fast focus eyepiece, the good audible and tactile adjustments of the turret, the good definitive adjustments on the illumination. It's a Trijicon product. They make good stuff. It's made in Japan and not China. All good things. The quality of the glass is good. It's really the reticle. This has a segmented type reticle. I'm just not a fan of the segmented, upside down horseshoe, single dot in the center type reticles. They're just too busy and cluttered for me. They work fine on some first focal plane scopes in order to achieve brighter illumination at lower magnifications, but on this second focal plane scope, it's just a no-go for me. And also, I prefer mil-based reticles versus BDC reticles. The reason being is a mil's a mil. My competition rifle, the scope goes down, I yank that mil-based scope off of there, I grab one of my other mil-based scopes, I put it on there, I zero it, I know what my holds are because a mil's a mil. BDCs are not all the same. They vary from scope to scope, manufacturer to manufacturer, and while they may be close, if they're for the same caliber, I want better than close. I want to know exactly where those rounds are going with a given hold at a given distance. So the reticle's the issue, and that is very subjective. I'm an aim point versus EOTech guy because of the nature of the reticle or the dot. My Holosun 509Ts, I'm a single dot versus circle dot guy. If, however, you're not, if you like circle dots, if you like EOTechs, then hey, this is probably a good scope for you because you don't mind the reticle. And if you only got a scope or two and you're not worried about changing scopes from rifle to rifle for that consistency, again, a good scope for you. So it doesn't work for me, but it very well may work for you. So if you get a chance, check out the Trijicon Credo, and you may find that it is indeed the scope for you. Until next time, you all stay safe. Take care.